So I hope you can see here something here. All right. Good. Okay, so let's get this right. Look, this is from Sister Sujata. I think Sister Sujata is an expert. She is, but this when I looked at it, I thought it was done in PowerPoint. But amazingly, she did it in, sorry, when I looked at it, I thought it was done in Photoshop. But amazingly, she said, no, she did it in PowerPoint. But she's already an expert, but she was being very humble. So she said, no, I learned some advanced manipulation techniques, uh, you know, in the previous weeks. So if you look at this, if you look at this, look at that, what she has done. She's actually removed the background of each of these deities and then put them here. And then behind, she has put Shiv Baba's picture. So that is quite amazing. And this is the kind of stuffs we can actually start doing. Okay. And she has also integrated the canvas stuff here. Okay. Can you see that? So that I think is really good. Okay. All right. So Sister Sujata is already good. Maybe we should, exchange ideas with her, those who know her, right? Now, good. Also, next. Thank you for that amazing work, Sister Sujata. And Sister Karishma from Australia. She's also done an amazing work playing with colors. So that's really good. That's really good. Can you see what she has done? Contrast is the template of the canvas, so that's good. However, if you notice, that, sorry, just give me a minute. I'm going to stop my video if you don't mind. Okay, good. All right. So if you do notice here, what do you see? What do you see? What do you notice? Do you notice anything? Probably people think in a very geometrical way, in a very symmetrical way, because that's how our education system is, our world is. Okay, they think in a very geometrical and symmetrical way, and creativity is hardly taught in schools. So most people are not creative, but it can be learned, and they can actually instill that creativity in them. So why am I saying that? Because when you take a look at these two photos here, all right, if you take a look at these two photos, they're slightly imbalanced. So what you can do is you can slightly make this photo slightly bigger, slightly bigger. You need to test it out and see whether it's good. Okay. Can you see that? So there's a slight imbalance there. You could test it out. Now, then this fonts can be made a little bit smaller. That's very good. Okay. It doesn't matter. You need to test it out. Now, the other thing is the Zoom link and the meeting and the passcode need not be so big. You know why? When people are really interested, they will look for it. So sometimes you may not want to place it in a very prominent uh, place. There's no need for that, because once they see that this topic is so interesting, they will definitely look for it. So this kind of stuff, this kind of information can be tucked in a tiny little corner, all right? As long as people can see it, that's good enough. Okay, so I'm just giving you that point. Okay. Now, it's very important that you understand this. For most people, if it is not symmetrical or symmetrical in nature, they find it a little uneasy, because that's how they are programmed since small. Okay, but however, as you become more and more expert, then you can actually break this rule. As you become more creative, you can actually break this rule. But for most people, they are symmetrical. Okay. All right. So I want you to take note of that. So go for a little bit of balance here. Test it out. If it's not nice, keep changing it. Okay, good. So let me just take you further. This is from Sister Sureka. Good. I think this is a video. This is a video? No. She's also done this. Okay. Uh, looks very nice to me. The colors are okay. All right. Maybe the wording is actually blocking the sunset here, which, as I said, the whole idea of a brochure or a flyer or a video is to get people to keep watching, looking at it. So we want people to look at Sister Judy, and then we want people to look at the sunset at the same time. Their eyes will actually look here and then go up. So we must give them time to actually explore all this. So if some of our content blocks those important aspects, the retention or the time they spend on the flyer might be reduced. Okay, so that's very important for a designer. Okay, good. Let's move on. So that's a video. Yeah. Can you see? It looks more. Okay, good. The next thing I wanted to tell you was this. It's very important that you understand this concept. Now let's go back a little bit. Okay, let's go back a little bit. Now look at this. Look at this. Can you see this? It's nicely aligned. This is important. Why? So that the eye actually focus into a particular area. It is also nice if you can give slightly bigger space to the side so that the eyes can actually focus on a particular area. However, if take a look at this, right? Now, however, if it is slightly aligned, misaligned, this and this is good, but if it is slightly misaligned, it may look a little messy for most people. As I said, they like geometry. They like symmetrical. That's for most people. Remember, we are not including those very creative people. Okay. So once you become creative and understand the concepts of creativity, then you can manipulate differently. Okay. So for now, let's keep our focus on being symmetry until you become really expert. So when you're doing stuffs like this, you need to align it. So this is our line of alignment. Okay, this is alignment. And let's put it here nicely. Okay, so you need to adjust it like this. So pay attention to this kind of stuffs when you're sending homeworks to me. Okay, good. All right, so let's have a clear boundary whenever you're doing it. Okay. So next, this is from Sister Denise. Very empty and very free. Yeah, the topic is feeling free. The bird is beautiful. But when I looked at it, I was feeling very free here. But somehow when I came down here, I've started feeling caged. All right. Now, the reason could be this line here is a very clear boundary. Maybe it should be made like a soft edge. Why? So that we can feel the free thing, the free feeling throughout the brochure. So it's very important when you take or choose an image, the image and the title must actually give that same feeling, and it strengthens that feeling that they have, that they go through when they look at the brochure or the flyer. All right. So try to think in this way. Feeling free, the bird is excellent, but here it gives me a different feeling, slightly different. It's my personal opinion. Okay. So let's have images which actually tries to strengthen the title. All right. Good. Okay, so this needs a little bit of proper placing also. So when you're doing the next homework, I know the first homework, you're probably excited to just use the tools, okay? But the next subsequent homeworks, you need to pay attention to this kind. You need to pay attention to what the viewer's feeling would be. all right? And how they would think in maybe a symmetrical manner. Let's go for that. Okay. Now, even this, it looks a little, it looks symmetrical to me because there's something here and there's something here. There's a balance to it. Okay. The third rule also applies to this. There's something on this corner and there's something on the other corner. So that's exactly the third rule. So it balances things. Okay. If you have any question, just put in the chat and feel free to disagree with me, okay? It's okay. Now, Sister Sarah Mohan from Toronto, I think this is so amazing. I'm not sure. Take a look at that. Do you know why? Now, a few things which needs correction, but I think Sister Sarah has got an eye for images. Look at that title, Seeking Silence. That's brilliant. And then the image is breaking in the middle, exactly the seeking and the silent splits this brilliantly. This person is walking into an area which shows something which is there, which can reflect silence. It's as if this person is seeking something. Then there's a blend of contrast here. Can you see something dark? And then there's a lighter area. The topic and the picture and the color seems to blend so amazingly. And then Sister Kiran is here, well done with the soft edges, also blends in nicely. Okay. However, now what happened is, you see, this picture is so amazingly chosen by Sister Sarah, but you are actually sort of sabotaging the messages hidden in this picture by placing too much information at the wrong place. You need to look at that. If I were to do it, look, there are two stuffs here. Number one, my eye is going to look at seeking silence. Then my eye is going to look at this area where the light is splitting the scenery. My eye is also going to see this person walking into here. And then my eye will also catch the contrast, that beautiful dark side of the forest, and that brilliant sunlight piercing through these trees. So there is about main information, but there are subtle information which I'm going to keep admiring. This is what I mean by a quality stuff. Quality in my terms means people are going to spend more time looking at it. So that's very important. So when you're doing this stuff, remember, words are nothing compared to an image. So let them enjoy this image, remove all this, and that's it. Maybe a very few, another one very powerful self-explanatory text. Now, about Sister Kiran can be made smaller, thinner fonts, and tucked in a corner somewhere down here. Also, what you can do to create more space to put this stuffs somewhere, you can actually snip off a little bit from the top, snip off a little bit from the bottom, maybe here, little bit, create more space and nicely place them somewhere at the corner here. So all this goes into this corner. As I said, the meeting, the Zoom ID, they're all not so important because once they love this stuff, they will somehow locate this thing. All right, so you can be put nicely somewhere here. Now, this can be placed here, this can be placed here, but you need to check. Let's remove this stuff, see how it looks. Then take this is white font, white color font. Maybe it can be placed somewhere here on a darker background, or here maybe. All right, you need to test this out. So this is how we make sure that the picture speaks 1,000 words. And I think, Sister Sarah, please continue to have this, sharpen this special eye that you have for seeking this kind of images. It's amazing. So I want all of you in the next homeworks that you're doing to go and look for amazing photos like this, which actually complements the title. Are you okay? You all right? Good. So that's great. Hope you're okay. Any questions? Just leave it in the chat. Probably Brother Tanuj can actually compile them and I can answer it later. Okay, good. This is very subtle. It looks like a card to me. Amazing. Okay, amazing. Nice. Brilliant. Creativity. Simple. Sister Usha, thank you. So beautiful. All right. Good. That's nice. All right. So it's a video. The animated words are coming out. Fine. Thank you. Good. This is Sister Mandrata. She has done something else. I'm just showing you this because it's creative. It's creative. People are like reading it, but also trying to see, hey, what's happening at behind? But remember, a moving picture uh, may take the limelight, and sometimes some things cannot be read. So you need to be very clear where you want to place these things. Okay, like this is right in smack in the middle, which may not be a good idea. Okay, maybe it can be placed by the corner. So you need to test it out. Okay, now sometimes what I say may not be correct. It doesn't matter. So that's why you need to test. Okay, all right. I'm not a total expert. All right. Good. Brother Santiago has he's creatively playing with stuffs. Good. So that's very good. So I think this is also a video. That's cool, right? So we've got a nice earth spinning here. I think this is useful for world peace hour, right? But the wordings, the text and all probably needs to be rearranged. Okay, good, good. This is Sister Nishu. I just love this stuff because look at the contrast. And the color of the world peace hour also looks very subtle. So it's a dark background with this, an amazing thing and an amazing smile. But I think Gandhi doesn't seem to fit here so much because he's somehow is like a distraction to me. So you need to test it out, remove Gandhi, and then see whether it makes things better. All right. But the picture itself tells you a lot of stuffs. Okay, so that's excellent. Thank you so much, Sister Nishu. Another amazing work from Sister Nishu. So subtle, Secrets of Cheerfulness. Dr. Rona is here. I'm assuming this is Sister Rona. I'm not sure. Okay. So very subtle, very nice, extremely. Look at the picture. Cheerful. She looks like an embodiment of cheerfulness. That's amazing. And then look at that. The garden or the flowers are also so cheerful here. And then the text is beautifully written. However, please give some space here. All right, please give some space here. It might make things better. So don't go towards the corner. Try both. Try both. See which one fits better. Okay, keep some space here. let's move on. Okay. Good. Now, something is missing here. What is missing? Can somebody tell me what is missing? Remember, I told you a slide always must have three stuffs. What is missing? Anyone? What is missing? Thank you. The header, the headline is missing. The header here is who am I? Now, please tell me, are you going to repeat who am I? That is wasting. What should be here? Come on, tell me. What should be there? So this is how you need to think. I mean, it's up to you. You can say, what is your exact identity? Actually, we are saying the same stuff. Same stuff. But different words will make them think differently. Can you see that? So you probably can say, what's your identity? This. Do you identify yourself as a teacher? Do you identify yourself as a parent? Do you identify yourself as a student? Or do you identify yourself with the roles or something, a header which tells a different story? This is not a story. This is a question. So you need to explain it. Every slide must have powerful header, a story, which means when they read this, half the message is understood without even going into the content. Okay, good. Let's move on. Then we're actually going to show this stuff. This is how the slide, you are presenting this slide. This is how they do it in Malaysia, which I don't agree, but I feel they can do better. Okay. So, look, we have three pictures and you're trying to explain, I'm not the body, I'm this, I'm that. No, it can be done better. Let me give you an example of what I've done. Okay. Who am I? Am I a body without life? Am I a body with life? I'm not the body. Don't worry about what comes up, but look at the effect. It becomes interesting. So who am I? It's silence. So who exactly am I? The movement, the picture, highlighting is going to make them think. So this is how I would like you to play with it. Okay, I think I've given you these slides also, so you probably could use that. Let's take a look at what I've done. I mean, I've just did this quickly. All right, now watch. Good. So, so then I'm giving them an answer. Okay, that's it. That's my header. But I will never explain this. I'm going to say something else. Let's take a look at something else. Interesting, isn't it? It keeps moving and people are like, wow, what's happening? Okay, nice. Their attention is there. And I'm going to change it. I'm going to say, can you see that? What did I do? I'm going to say that the mind was inside here. It's inside the soul. And then I'm going to say, that's what the mind does. That's what the mind does. That's what the mind is doing. Yeah. I'm going to change it. Play it again. This is your homework, all right? You need to get this probably after a few lessons. And things are going to come out. Good. So let's go on. So then I'm not sure whether this is suitable to be explained in the US, but just watch the, okay? I'm not sure whether you talk about birth and rebirth, but if you do, it's okay. So I'm showing this. I've done some soft edges. I've snipped it, snip and soft edges. And somebody's dead. I'm showing them the soul. Yes. Can you imagine this? No, I'm not sure that this kind of stuff is suitable, all right? But if you think it is, then it's okay. Okay, all right? So good. I hope you're okay. Good. Let's move on. Then I'm going to explain, meditate, or give 1, 2, 3, 4 points, and that's it. Okay, good. So I'm just giving you a sample of what can be done and how we can make things interesting. Now let's go back to this. Okay, so let's go back to this. Let's say you've got a picture. This picture, I've got it from Google Image. All right. So watch what I'm going to do. I'm going to go to my crop. Click on the picture, picture format, and let's crop and get this out. Okay, let's get this out. Okay, let's create an empty slide first. Okay, good. Okay. All right, I'm going to crop this picture. Okay. All right. So what I'm going to do, click on the picture, crop. But I just want this stuff, this skeleton. I'm going to go to crop to shape, crop to shape. And I'm going to choose that oval shape. All right. So it's actually made an oval shape, but that's not what I want. I'm going to click on it. I'm going to click crop again. Crop, just crop. Just now it's crop to shape, crop. And I can actually adjust it. Which part do I want to crop? I'm going to give some space here. Why? Because I'm going to use that soft edges. Good. Can you see that? Good. That's it. So now click anywhere out and you got that. Can you see that? Good. So what I'm going to do is, are you okay? Good. Let's see. I'm going to show you one more time. Let's make a copy. Good. I'm going to show you one more time. Click on the picture. You should do this. Picture format. Crop. Crop is on the top right-hand side. Okay. If you're watching the video, sometimes my picture blocks this. Okay. So sorry about that. Then click crop to shape. Done. Then click on it. Go to normal crop, just crop. And then you can actually move this stuff here. Done. Click. You got that, right? So I'm going to give some soft edges because soft edges will make things out here all disappear. So I'm going to go to picture effects, soft edges. Okay, good. But the Hindi word is still there, which means I'm going to click on it again, crop it again, crop. Let's bring it lower. Okay, that should do it. Let's remove a little bit. Good. That looks better. Okay. I think you know how to do that. So now you've got this stuff here. Let's go back to our picture again. I'm going to crop and get this guy out. Okay, I'm going to get this guy out. I've given you this picture. I'm going to get this cropped. Okay. All right. Let's crop this person. Crop to shape. Oval. What is this? Okay. So I think let's crop this stuff. Okay. So again, crop it. Let's go to picture format, crop. Okay, I'm going to shape this. Let's crop here and let's move it here. Okay, let's move it here. Good. Done. Okay, there's some stuffs here. I think whoever did this, probably they're trying to block it. Okay. Okay, fine. So let's delete this stuff. Okay, good. So now I've got this, okay, here, and I'm going to have a soft edge again, soft edge. Oh, they've grouped it. Okay, so I've got to ungroup it. Okay, ungroup it. Okay, good. So let's get this guy alone here. Okay, this face, shape effects, soft edges. Good, done. Nicer. I'm going to copy this, Control C, and then I'm going to place it back in this part here. Good. Are you okay? All right. I'm going to show you this effect of animation here. Then I'm going to go back to my picture here. Change this picture if it is not suitable for the US crowd. Okay. And again, I'm going to crop it, crop the shape, oval, done. Click on it, crop again, crop, adjust and get this person here. Okay. All right. It's going to take some time, but that is why those who have some time, you should help your center coordinators, center instruments to actually do good stuffs like this. This is great service, I feel. Okay, now let's give some picture effects. Okay, soft edges. Okay, looks good to me. No, let's make it some more. Okay, fine, looks good. So let's click on this, copy it, Control C, copy, go back, paste it. So I've got two stuffs here. So now I want to animate. Remember your header. Your header is absolutely important. All right. So I'll leave that to you. All your homeworks should have good headers. Okay, now good. So what I'm going to do is I want this to grow and this to grow a bit. Okay. All right. So let's check. So I'm going to make this a bit smaller. I'm going to make this a little smaller. Okay, good. So I'm going to make this grow. So I'm going to click on this. Okay, let's take a look. This is how it's looking. So first thing is, I want this to appear. That means this slide is going to be empty. I want this to appear, and then grow. Two things, appear and grow. Okay, all right. So I want it to appear and grow. So let's see what we can do. So I'm going to click on this. And I'm going to go to animations. And I'm going to say, please appear. Good, so it appears. So let's test that and see. So it appears, good, fine. You can choose anything, not necessarily appear. So that's done. Then what I'm going to do, I'm going to make it grow. I'm going to click on it again. Add animation, add one more animation. And I'm going to make it big, grow. Can you see grow? Grow. That's it. Finished. Are you okay? But remember what I said, it's 1 and 2. That means there are two, but I want both to happen together. So let's check what happens. Number 1, it appears, then it grows. I don't want that. I want both to happen together. All right. So what do I do? What do I do? So I need to go to the animation pane. You're under animations. Click on animations. Animation pane. There's two pictures, right? I want number 2 to also come out together, appear with number 1. So click on number 2 and say, please appear here on top. Please appear with the previous. Get it? So now it becomes, so you explain. Are you this body? Okay, now good. So I'm going to do the same stuff here. All right, so same stuff here. Okay, so let's do that same stuff. I think you're getting it. Just with a little bit practice. Click on it and just say, go to your animations, appear, fine. Number 2, then say, click on the picture, say add, and make it grow. I want it to grow. Good, done. Okay, good. However, it's 2 and 3. Can you see 2 and 3? So what do you do? Number 3, what do you do with the 3? Number 3, say, no, come with the previous. Please appear with the previous. Click on the previous. Good. So done. That's it. You see that? Good. Now I want the third picture in the middle to appear. You need to be very step by step. Do it a few times, should be okay, all right? So remember, this kind of stuffs are interesting to capture people's attention. That's it. Okay, 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 good. Okay, now good. So now I'm going to go back to this person here in the middle and say, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to do the same thing. So I'm going to click, please appear, or you can even choose any one of this. It doesn't make any difference. There's no difference. Click, and then I'm going to add animation. I'm going to say, grow. Brilliant. Okay. So now 3 and 4, remember 3 and 4, I want them to come out together. So what do? Number 3, say with previous. Are you okay? Good. Now I'm going to do something else different. So let's take a look at the effect first, see what happens. Okay. So explain this stuff. Then I've got this. But I want something else to happen. That is when the middle image comes out, appears, I want this to go into the background and become smaller. Let's do some effects, okay? All right, you want to try that? Let me just read the chat. Is it too confusing for you? Okay, good. Never mind. Okay, let's move on. Let's move on. Okay. So what I'm going to do is when this appears, the first 2 stories over, growing and getting bigger, is finished. Now it's a new story. When this person appears, these 2 should fade back, go back. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to click this person. And I'm also going to say, click this person. Well, let's do one by one. Click this person, this skeleton, and say, okay, what do you want? You want to shrink it. Let's go back to shrink, grow, shrink. Okay, click that. That's the third one. Sorry, where are we? No, I did a mistake. Okay. So here I've clicked this, and I'm going to add animation, new stuff, add a new stuff. And I'm going to say, okay, I'm going to make it grow. But I don't want it to grow anymore because I want it to shrink. But that's number 4. Can you see number 4? Number 4. So in order to make it smaller, you just click this button here, and go to the effect options. Can you see the size here? It's 150. So you want to now reduce it to smaller, maybe 50%. It's good enough. So what did I do again? I click here. This now is huge. This is huge, 400. Large, 150. I'm going to choose smaller, 50%. That's it. Okay. You got it? Same thing here. I'm going to get this person to also add animation. Make them grow, shrink, but now it's growing. So I need to specify, go to picture number 5, shrink it to smaller. Done. Okay, now see what happens. Of course, if it's too small, if you don't want 50%, you can just type, okay, here, 66%. And enter. You must press enter. 66%. That's also possible. Okay, it's up to you. Okay. All right, so fine. Now, so let's take a look. What happens? Comes out, grows big. Then you explain this stuff. Then you say, I'm a soul. Fine. Then this goes small. This goes small, but doesn't look good. Why? Because when the middle image comes out, this too must also at the same time move to the background. Okay, so wait, this is picture number 5. I'm going to make this into 50% because, okay, effect options. Sorry, that's number 5. Okay. I'm going to choose smaller. Okay. Make it same as the other one. Okay, fine, good. Now see what's going to happen. So what did I say? When this picture emerges, these two must move to the background at the same time. So that's not difficult. You already know this. So what do we do? Look at this. This is number 4. This is number 5. Make it with previous with this. So I'm going to click number 4 and say, click up here on the click with previous. And then I'm going to go to this picture, number 4, not everything, only number 4. So click on number 4, and say with previous. Done. Let's see what happens. So you explain this stuff. And then you got a header. Don't forget your header. And then you've got this stuff. And then you've got this stuff. That's it. And then something else comes out, a text or something. Can you see what I'm saying? So people are like, okay, wondering, wow, this, okay, it grows. And then you say something here. Then you ask them some question and say, no, we are actually souls. That looks nice. Can you see? Even if you're doing a talk, giving a talk, this kind of stuffs really will attract people and it makes them think. So when you say something, they can actually relate to the image that is appearing and moving back. So it creates more impact. So the whole idea of us giving a talk online or whatever is to hold their attention. So the attention has to be with us. That's how it should be. All right, good. So this is your homework. So how many homework have I given you? Well, that's quite a lot, isn't it? Is it a lot? Okay. Now, so what did I do? This is your first homework, right? So you need to create a very strong header. Give me a good header. Okay, you can add more contents if you want, all right? Because there's only 3 content. That's good. You can have one more here and a nice image, and then please break the others. Now, example, United Nations, you probably want to show United Nations. Get it from the Google image. Okay, so you need to do that for me. Number 2, you need to do these slides. I mean, if you can add. And then you need to give me this kind of animation effects. Will that be okay? All right, will that be okay? Good. So, all right, good. Now, good. So, below that, also, you need to give me a text. Don't forget, text are very important. So I'm going to go to my home. Okay. And I'm going to get my text box is here. For you, your text box might be at insert text box. You see that? Okay. So get your text box. I'm going to type something here. Okay. Good. I am so. I'm going to make it bigger. Okay, good. So now, let's put it here. No, here. Good. So now let's check. Let's play it out and see whether it works out well. Good. I can actually move this word a bit up here. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to move it here. And I'm also going to animate that stuff. So I'm going to animate, let's say fade. Okay. And I want this to come out slower. Number 4. Can you see number 4? Number 4. This text is number 4. And it's coming out too fast, 0.05. So I'm going to increase the time. I'm showing you all this because once you see it, you probably want to test it out. Okay. So, but however, let's check what happens. Okay. No, I want that word, the text, to appear with this face. What do I do? I think you already know. What do I do? I want number 4 to emerge with number 3. What do I do? So click on number 4 and go to this part here. All right, go to this part here, on click, with previous, done. Okay, with previous, good. So now let's test it again. So first the skeleton comes out, then the human being comes out. Cool. But the text came out very fast. I'm not so happy with that. So I'm going to click on number 3, this one, text. All right, I'm going to increase the duration. You see, I can increase the duration here. The duration here is here, 5 seconds. I'm going to say 5 seconds. Let's test it out, see what happens. The skeleton, the human body. Okay, fine. So here, and then you have a powerful header on top. Don't forget your header. Header must tell a story. Okay, good. This is homework for next week, which means next week, throughout the week, because it's going to take time for you to practice. So therefore, you need to practice this stuff and at least give me this 3 slides. I would like to really see this thing. Okay, so this is very important. Okay, so this is your homework, homework number 1. Get me good images, please. Get me really good stuffs. If it's United Nations, okay, put some image here. United Nations, get me something else. Okay, I'll leave it to you, your creativity. Who am I? This looks cool. You can be creative, create something else, but I would like to see this stuff being created. Okay, get some soft edges here. I think you know how to do that. Then create one for me like this. Let's not rush, but let's master this simple animation thing. Okay, so once you can do it, you can actually repeat them. So the method to learn fast is just to repeat a few times and then you'll get it. Okay, so once you've done that, then you can proceed to do, if you have time, okay? Because tomorrow we are going to learn something else. We're going to learn videos. So today is the PowerPoint animation, and you need to become an expert within this week. This is, what's your view on this? Come on, tell me, what is this? So if I click on this, I mean, you have all the information, but this is probably okay if it's face-to-face. But it is not all right anymore if it is online. Because people are just going to read. They're not going to listen to you. They're just going to read. If face-to-face, we can actually look into the eyes and get their attention. But now it's no more like that. So this has to be changed. All right? Should I just leave it to you or must I show you something? What do you feel? Should I leave it to you? Will you be able to handle it? Okay, right? All right. Now, if you're using a Mac, Mac can also do this. Use your own, Mac has got its own software. So use that. Not to worry, you don't have to use PowerPoint. But what I'm saying is the concept of one by one like this, all right, getting people interested. That's what is important. Okay, so let's get out of this. Okay, so what I want you to do, remember the drive which I gave you? They've got all these photos like this. So this is what I want you to do. Let's quickly take a look at this. Okay, all right. So maybe spend another 10 minutes explaining this stuff to you. Okay, so let's go back here. The person comes out. Okay, fine. So this is what we just did. Okay, good. Now, what I want you to do next. What is this? Let's take a look. So I'm going to show you this stuff. Okay, so can you see from this picture here, the person moved here. That's quite easy. Watch what I'm going to do. I just click this, right? You see that? This is my picture. We just modified this stuff. We modified. I'm going to make a duplicate of it. I'm going to make a duplicate, all right? I'm going to go to slide 29. I'm going to go to slide 29, and I'm going to copy it, Control C, and I'm going to click Control V. So it's copied. Can you see that? So now I'm in the next slide. I'm in the next slide. And I'm going to remove all this stuff. I don't want it anymore because we already have it in the first slide, the previous slide. And I'm going to take this person and put them here. And I'm just going to put them here. Okay, that's it. Are you following me? Okay, can you see what's the difference here? So I've removed this two, place them here. Good. So what I'm going to do is this particular slide, click transitions. Just beside animation, click transitions. And just say morph. Click morph. Okay, let's check what happens. There am I. Okay. So I'm here. I've got this person. And I'm going to click. Wait, hang on. Okay. So now on this slide 30 again, sorry. Okay. Okay, so slide 30 here, which I just took this picture, is now in this here. I don't want any more animations. So I'm going to remove all those animations. So I'm going to click on animations. I don't want them anymore. So I'm going to delete, just press delete, delete, delete. It's gone. Can you see that? Okay. So now it doesn't have any animation. And in this slide, I've gone into transition and say it has to be morphed. It will move. Can you see how it moves? Okay, good, watch. So I'm now here. Now here. Good. But I'm going to go into my next slide. But I still want people to retain this information. I want people to still remember this information. This information has to be remembered. So in my next slide, I'm going to go into another subject, but I want them to remember this information. So that's what I just did. I'm going to place it on one corner, and I'm going to go on with other subjects. Can you see just what I did? Okay. So again, let's move on. So I was here. Okay. I'm going to do it again. Again, I'm going to delete this stuff. I'm here now, right? I made a duplicate. Control C and then Control V. I've just duplicated. I'm going to remove this skeleton. I'm also going to remove this person. And then I'm going to remove all the animations because I don't want them anymore. Done. I'm going to put this person here. And I'm going to make this font smaller because I don't need, it's a previous information, which means I'm going to make this font size smaller. Okay, maybe make it bold, make it okay. And I'm going to place it here. Is it small enough? Okay. All right, I must so. That's it. And this slide here, I make it into a transition morph. You see that? Good. I'm going to place it higher. That's it. So this kind of stuff's really important or nice because people will get to follow information from the previous slide. And you are talking about a new stuff, but the previous slide is now also feeding information and they can connect. So which means every other slide can actually be connected. So let's do one more stuff, last one. Okay. Let's say now, who am I? Who am I? Okay, I'm going to click on who am I? And I'm going to duplicate this. How? This is an image, right? This is an image. Okay, so this is an image. So I'm going to duplicate this thing. copy, Control C, Control V. So now I'm here. Now I'm here. Let's make this smaller. I'm going to make this stuff smaller. You see that? I'm going to place it here. So let's copy this and put it in my next slide. Good. And all this can be brought down. Good. Done. So let's remove this stuff. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on this thing, and say morph, animation, transition. Remember transition? Okay, transition. And then morph. Good. So what happens? Let's take a look. So who am I? It's continuing from the previous page. Can you understand what I'm saying? So this is useful if you feel you want to connect or you don't want the student to actually forget the previous stuff. All right, very useful and very interesting if you want to have a flow, a continuous flow from the previous slides. Are you okay with that? All right, good. So now this has to improve. I'm not sure, I may not have time, but you need to try this stuff. This is too much info. Generally, people can only process about 1 to 3 informations on ordinary intellect at any one point of time. And most of them can only think one information at one time, at this point of time. Okay, so you cannot have too many info because they can read all this, but to process everything at the same time is very heavy on the intellect. Okay, so that is why I'm suggesting you should do something like this. Show them the 3 stuff. For them to understand this whole thing is considered one information. You can't have too many arrows and words underneath. That's too much for people. With all the sorrow and difficulty they're going through, do you want them to process all this further? Okay. So now I'm going to say, okay, guys. So this is what I just did. This is transition. Can you see? I made it move up. I made it move up. So how do I do that? I'm going to show you again now. Last one. Okay. So what did I do? I'm going to duplicate this stuff. Okay, here. All right, duplicate. I just duplicated. And I'm going to move this 3 here. Oh, no. Okay. I'm going to move this 3 up here. And then I'm also going to move this person here, but I'm going to make this person smaller if you want to. Okay. Good. And I'm going to click this and say transition, morph. You see that? So from here, this is my original slide. If I do that, click, it goes into my next slide, transition. It's not difficult, it's just one button, transition. You're getting it? So you copy it, and then the same diagram here, you move it to the position you want, and then click transition. Then you can bring this stuff, the head here, which I've already given you, in my drive file. Remember that drive file is all there. Place them here and see what happens. Good. Now tell me, what's the next step? Now, what's the next step I'm going to do? So from here, I'm going to get this whole thing, move here, move to the left, and I want this mind stuff to actually go into this person here. Are you following me? Again. Let's take a few more minutes, show you this so you can test it out. I want this whole thing to move to the left. And then I want this mind thing to get into this person's head. And these two will disappear. Okay, let's watch. Sounds complicated. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to make 3 copies here. Control C. I'm going to click Control C, Control V, V, and V, right? 4 things. Good. Now, next. So from here, what's going to happen? I want this thing. So next slide. I'm going to take this and put it here. I'm going to make it slightly smaller. You see that? And I'm going to remove this two. I don't need this two. I'm going to take this, probably group it, Control C. And I'm going to take this thing and place it here. Good. And I'm going to click on this, transition, and morph. So that, so let's check that out. So, okay, I'm going to click, done. You got a mind, then you type it out, what explanation you want. So people are clear. Mine is inside here. Then let's do it the same thing here. Remember, all this is your homework. There's a lot this week. So again, I'm going to use this same stuff here. I'm going to make it small. Okay, more or less the same as previous. Okay, and then what do? I want the intellect to be inside. So I'm going to remove this stuff. I'm going to remove this stuff. I'm going to get this stuff inside here. Good. So let's check my transition. Check my transition. It's already morphed. Good. Okay. So let's check. No, that's not good. So I need this picture. Okay. Never mind. So let's start from here. Okay, let's leave that for a while. Okay, just do one for me here like this. Okay, that's fine. For time being, let's not complicate. I'll show you this some other time. Okay, it's not difficult. Okay, so anyway, so let's quickly revise what are the stuffs we need to do. Number 1, what is the stuff you need to do? Number 1 is this. Okay, so that's your homework. You need to give me this. Make it very strong. Header must be good. If you want to do this, that's good. Please recreate the exact stuff here. Recreate the exact stuff. And then if you can, try to rearrange this stuff in a different way, that's fine. Use your own creativity, that's fine. Your own creativity is good enough. Okay, all right? Quite a bit today, yeah.